Hi guys, it's Laura from Laura in Bookland, and this is my November and 24-hour read-a-thon wrap-up. I participated in the 24-hour read-a-thon, which was on Saturday, November 30th. It was started over with Books 101 and Book Need Love. I will leave their links down below. My goal was to read/finish 3 books, and I did just that. The first book that I finished, I think I was on like halfway through it, was Beyond by S.P. Vanderlee. This is about a girl who can see ghosts, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I'm just going to give these all thumbs up, thumbs down ratings because it's just easier that way. I gave this sort of a thumbs down rating. I couldn't connect with the characters, and I just wasn't the biggest fan of it. The idea was there. You could just tell it was kind of, I don't know, I just wasn't the biggest fan of it. And then the second book that I read was Incantation by Alice Hoffman. This is a book about the Jews in Spain. I'm not sure what year it takes place in, but it was pretty sad. It was really quick reads, like 160 pages. But I definitely recommend this. I give it a thumbs up. And the last book that I read/finished, I was only like 20 pages in when I started. This is A Girl Who Soared Over Fairyland and Cut the Moon in Two by Catherine M. Valente. This is the third and final book in the Fairyland trilogy, so yay, I finished a series. I gave this a middle thumb. It was, I don't know, I really enjoy the first one. I absolutely loved the first book. The second book I liked, and this one was just okay. There's so much description in these books that you really, really have to be in the mood to read them. And I found myself sort of skimming the last few pages, just kind of skipping over some details. But I still really enjoyed the series, and I would recommend it. But I definitely recommend reading the first one at least. So yeah, that's all I read for the 24-hour read-a-thon. That was my goal, and I was totally happy with that. And now on to the rest of my November wrap-up. I think, including my 24-hour read-a-thon, I think I read 10 books. There was a couple novellas in there and a couple graphic novels. But yeah, I was pretty happy with them. And these are in no particular order because I was just stacking them. So I read Second Verse by Jennifer Walkup. I was on the blog tour for this. I really enjoyed this book. I give it a thumbs up. It's about a girl who moves to a new town with her mother. And she moves into this haunted house where a murder was committed, and then for Halloween she decides to join in on the town's, they get really into it for Halloween, and they do this fake murder mystery thing. So she throws a seance, and ever since she threw that seance, she's been hearing and seeing a ghost, and it's pretty much sort of like a mystery book. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. So I recommend this book. I also read Outpost by Anna Guire. This is the second book in the Razorland trilogy. I give this middle upper thumb. It kind of suffers from second book syndrome. Not a whole lot happens in this book, but it still made me excited to read the third book. So that is definitely on my list for next month. But yes, so that is Outpost by Anna Guire. This book was awful. It was not good. The Squirrel Mother Stories by Megan Kelso. This is a graphic novel. It is a graphic novel of short stories, and this was bad. Thumbs down. I give this like a 1 star, I think. It was just not very good at all. I know this is the very first book I finished in the month. I'd actually started reading it at the end of last month, and that is Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard. I think I gave this one a thumbs up, like a 4 star maybe. Takes place in the 1800s, I think. And it's got zombies in it, and it was, I mean, if you like historical fiction and you like zombies, I would definitely recommend this book. I'm not the biggest historical fiction fan because I can't really connect with the characters, I feel, but I still enjoyed this book, and I'm planning on reading the second book in the series, so yeah, I still recommend this book. And then the last physical book I read was Toys in the Basement by Stephanie Blanket. This is a very short graphic novel. It is supposed to be for kids, but I'm not entirely sure I would recommend it for kids because the ending is a little ugh. But it's pretty much about these toys that are alive, and these kids are at a costume party, and they get mistaken for toys that were thrown away, and they get taken to the secret world, and it's interesting. I think I gave it like a middle thumb, I think. That was an interesting book for sure. And then I also read, and I will put them up here, I had to read this one on my computer, I know, not on my Kindle, and it was Restoration by Anna Guire. This is number 2.5 in the Razorland. It was just a little novella for one scene from somebody else's point of view. I gave this like a thumbs down. It was like a 2-star, I think. I would not recommend reading it. It takes place Fade's point of view for a certain scene. I won't give away any spoilers, but it sort of took away from the scene, I think, knowing what he was thinking during the time, and I didn't really enjoy it very much, and it was very, very short. So yeah, I don't really recommend that. I also read Hushed by Kelly York. This is a young adult thriller, contemporary thriller. This was very good. I really, 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 really enjoyed this. Actually, I wouldn't even say it was young adult. It was more new adult because they were college-age kids. It was great. I gave that a 5-star. I absolutely 100% recommend that book. Definitely go check it out. It's got a great rating on Goodreads. It's like over a 4-star rating on Goodreads. And I don't really give very many 5 stars. I've been keeping those to only like books that are considered possible favorites for the year, and I would definitely put this in a favorites pile for the year 2013. So yes, definitely go check that one out. And the last book I read was also a novella, and that is An Ice Princess Heart by Olivia Anders, and this is a Shard of Ice novella. It is number 1, and I think there are 5 novellas that are being released before the actual book is being released. I gave this a thumbs up. I'm not a big fan of reading novellas before I read the main story. I like reading the actual book and then going back and reading the novellas if there's like a prequel novella. So I don't know. I found it kind of hard to rate this book because there's no real information to be based on. You just kind of learn very limited amount of things about the characters. But it was an interesting book, so I still, I gave it like a thumbs up, like a 4-star. But yeah, that is all I read for the month of November. And since I did read a little bit more than normal, I'm going to make a separate TBR video. But let me know in the comments below what you read this month, if you've read any of the books that I read this month, what you thought of them, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!